So good morning there everyone, welcome back here to the channel. I'm going to apologize right up front here. I know there's going to be background noise and I can't control that. I didn't plan on doing a video on this boat. However, it's something that I've scoured the internet on and haven't been able to find anything. So I'm thinking that this could help somebody, you know, in the near future here. So bear with me. I do apologize. I'll try to edit it as much as possible, but I can't guarantee anything. So again, this is a Harris float boat, and what I'm doing here is we have an issue with the fuel pickup here inside the fuel tank, and I'm going to try to bring this in here a little bit, see how this is going to work. And so anyways, right here, this is basically where your fuel pickup is. And one problem here that we have is, as you can see, the fuel pickup is stuck underneath this rail, and there's no way of sliding this tank back because there's a welded piece of aluminum here up front that prevents that from coming back. So awesome engineering design. So essentially what I had to do, I had to unbolt the V. So I got I think 4 bolts on this side, 4 bolts on that side, half the V is unbolted so I could drop it down about an inch. I do have a jack underneath the boat here, and that's helping to support the V right now. So what I want to do is I want to show you how to get this fuel sender out of here, or the pickup, and then, you know, what I did to repair it, and basically how to put it back together. So bear with me here and we'll see what we can do. So I'm hoping this camera angle is going to work for you. Anyways, there's a clip on here, big flat screwdriver basically, and we're going to pop this clip off here. So it could be a little bit challenging, but there it goes. So try not to send it too far back. So this is your clip right here basically, and it goes on this vent here, pressure regulator basically, and clips it in. So anyways, now with the V dropped here a little bit, I'm able to pull this pressure regulator out. And I mean, there's still not a lot of room here. That being said, I even have to lower the jack here right now. So there, you probably saw that drop on camera. And I mean, this is kind of the stupidest design. I don't know why you would design it like this, why you wouldn't bring this back just a little bit so that you can actually access this, because these things do need to be changed from time to time. And, you know, especially with your fuel pickup as well, right? So I'm going to take the camera off. I'm going to show you inside of this for a minute and just kind of explain everything. You're going to see this nut right here. So this whole housing essentially is molded into the tank. So this is non-removable. The nut will come off, but this whole insert here will not come out. So there's a little bit of figuring there yesterday that I had to try to do, but I'm going to show you what's inside of here and how to get it out. So here we are, and again, this is the insert. So this piece right here, this is where your fuel pickup is, and I pulled the fuel sender out yesterday to try to look in here, and I noticed that the fuel pickup was rotted off and whatnot. So you got to take this out essentially to replace the fuel pickup. So basically you're just going to come in with a pair of needle nose pliers and vice grips at that, and you got to be careful in here. You're going to see a little bit of marring, but this is sealed in here with an O-ring, and you're just going to pop that out, and that's going to pull out your whole sender. So I'll set up the camera here again. You'll watch me pull it out. All right, so there we go. You're just going to get in here, be as careful as possible, and get as much of a grip as you can without, again, this is soft aluminum, so you don't want to screw around with it too much. And so basically that just pops out. And yeah, that popped out pretty easy for me. I had it out yesterday, and trust me, it did not come out easy yesterday at all. There was a little bit of, you know, messing around to get that out. So anyways, you're gonna pull this out, and chances are if you're pulling this out, you probably don't have a hose left on the end of this. So what they originally have on here is a piece of plastic. And so this boat's a 2013, so it's 9 years old, and the pickup's already rotted off. The customer's actually had issues with this boat. This is the first time I've seen it. He's had issues with this boat for the last 2 years. He's had fuel pumps replaced and whatnot, and I don't really think that was the issue. I think the pickup was the issue all along. So essentially what I did was, I'm not going to replace it with something that I know is going to rot off and deteriorate. So I took a piece of mercury, and this has to be the mercury fuel line. That's the only fuel line out there right now that's actually not rotting away and delaminating. So I took a piece of mercury fuel line, so the same fuel line you use on your fuel supply hose basically, and we're gonna give this a shot. I mean, we got nothing to lose. So I just had to flare the end on here and put it on. Now I put a clamp on both ends. The clamps up here is to seal, and you got to make sure it's going to fit inside the hole here though, right? And what I did down here is I took a piece of brake line, standard brake line basically, and I put it in down here, and what that does is that gives it a little bit more weight so that hose is going to stay down, and I clamped that inside, and I mean that's pressed in there, it's not going to fall out. And I made my hose a little bit longer. I measured the tank, it was 16 inches, I think I cut it at 18 inches, and that's going to allow for a little bit of a bend. And I place that bend at the back because that's going to be your most lowest point for pickup, right? So basically at the end of it all, you know, I assembled that. We're going to give this a shot and see what happens. I know this fuel line is good for fuel going through it, and I'm sure it's going to be the same for the outside. The one thing I'm going to say is to stay away from any black fuel injection hose or fuel hose, because that stuff's going the outside of it. Once it gets full of fuel and everything else, it just starts seeping black. You're going to end up with that inside your fuel. It's going to deteriorate and it's going to give you a total mess. So the only fuel line I'm recommending that you use is the actual mercury gray fuel line to do this. I wouldn't recommend any black. Last thing, going back in, there's an O-ring on here, so you want to make sure it's in somewhat good condition. What I did is I just used a little bit of combustion chamber cleaner. It's Red Stallion kind, the same as the mercury cleaner basically, and it acts like a lubricant to put it back together, and makes it a lot easier. So basically you just want to get it in there, push it in just like that. That's all good now. And then we're going to take our pressure regulator, and again inspect the O-ring on your pressure regulator, because this all makes a seal here, and you're going to reassemble this. Basically that just clips on there. Make sure that your clip is straight, flat, everything's good with that, and this can only go on one way. You're going to clip that on, and that's it. That's what makes your prime. You're just going to give it a test. There we go. You can probably hear that, it's working. And that's all, folks. So that's for a MOELLER fuel tank. This is a 32 gallon, and I'll put the model number down in the description as well. But the model is an FTA 000956. Now I think they got away from the design of these tanks, and probably for good reason. I'm not sure if they readjusted it here on the boat to make easier access. But this is more or less something that you're going to have to do out of the water, not in the water, for reasons of having to drop the V and whatever else. So I hope this helps someone out there. And again, thanks everyone for watching. Please do hit the subscribe button. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and share it with all your friends. It'd be much appreciated. And until next time, you know, have a good one. We'll catch you on the next one.